Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to another installment of Show de Vie with Mike G, the show of life, the show of wheat, the show of pastries, French New Wave, France, and vodka. It is my absolute pleasure to finally get to share this amazing chat with the creator of Grey Goose himself, Mr. Francois Thibault. An amazing opportunity to sit down with the man, the charismatic personality, with the help of Julien from Bacardi, translating to have this amazing conversation about where Francois is from, where he was driven to create Grey Goose, how he worked with and in Cognac. So many amazing things, and this is no finer way to wrap up Grey Goose week at the show. First talking to Ian Riley, the new Texas ambassador for Grey Goose Vodka on Monday, and now talking to the man himself where it all began. So I hope you guys enjoy this great chat with the creator of Grey Goose, Mr. Francois Thibault. How was the rest of the night at Roosevelt Room? Did you guys head over there afterwards?
It's a night that actually went like any other night, but it's really about meeting all the people and the passion and sharing the passion that they have for this industry, really.
A good city for that. Have you felt pretty welcomed since you guys got here?
More than feeling welcome, I feel like they were waiting for it.
10 years in the making, right? It's been 10 years.
Ça fait 10 ans.
Why do you think it took so long to get back?
It's more than 5 years for sure, maybe not 10 years.
À peine 10 ans,
mais c'est sûr que they haven't forgotten me, that's for sure.
we do not forget. And the cocktails last night are yet another great way to share with Francois, you know.
Good opportunity, obviously, like to have a chat, with Francois, exchange, some ideas and everything. And he said, all of the guests, I would say, he met yesterday night, all the people he met yesterday night, he could share a passion with. So it's a lot easier when you start doing that. And obviously, there is a kind of pride, a kind of a sense of honor, like to welcome someone in your bar one way or another. Any guest, obviously, welcome, but it's always nice, because we share common grounds, common passion. Again, and there is kind of a sense of intimacy in a bar, and that's what a bar should be all about as well. It's like you kind of go there to relax, you kind of go there to be yourself and have a little bit of time to yourself too, even, regardless of the size of the group you go with.
That's right. Intimacy, those kind of connections. If I was to come to Cognac, would I receive the same treatment from Francois?
Oui, sauf que moi je l'aurais pas.
You couldn't have done the same cocktail that's made yesterday night.
This is true. We recently spent some of our honeymoon time in France, and we came back with a couple things. And a couple things I want to talk about as we talk about Francois' career. First thing is, why is French pastry the best thing in the world?
First of all, before I answer the question, I'm going to say that if you come back to France without telling me, I won't be happy at all.
All right, deal. No problem.
C'est fait.
Alors, quant à la signature
so there's two things really, two things that makes the pastries some of the best, not the best in the world. So the first thing is obviously the skills from the bakers. We've got fantastic bakers in France. It's a skill that has been given from generation to generation. I would say it's traditional, very traditional, lots of different techniques that are used, but following very much so the same rules sometimes, And the second thing is obviously the ingredients. Like the quality of the ingredients are key, obviously, to the flavor, to the taste of the pastries. And this is something that we're really proud of in France. And obviously this ingredient is the wheat cereal.
Which is as we kind of keep talking about the vodka, it's at the core of Grey Goose, that wheat, that winter wheat. Well, so this story starts out with Francois basically being born into winemaking. His father was a winemaker. But growing up in the Cognac region, what was day-to-day like? What kinds of things did he enjoy doing as a child there?
Alors,
obviously, before
avant de parler de hobby,
talking about what he enjoyed doing, one thing that he thinks is really important growing up was to be understanding and listening to what his parents had to offer to him, I would say, in terms of understanding his surroundings. And one thing that his parents were obviously big on was nature, because they were trying, obviously, and they were working with nature, being winemakers. And this is something that was really important to him. It's like understanding his surroundings, and enjoying nature. That was the key of what his parents gave to him. One thing he was doing is spending a lot of time in nature. And obviously, in France, we've got plenty of that. We've got like lots of different, I would say, ingredients all around us all the time. Like we make lots of cheese, we make wine, we make champagne, we make, there is a lot of things that we grow. It's a big part of our culture, and it's something that Francois was really, deep into, I would say, even growing up from a young age. So that's something that actually influenced him so much, like throughout his life, and that pushed him to, go towards, wine and winemaking, obviously, being very, very influenced by his family.
Because we have so much technology, we often get farther and farther away from nature. Do you think, does Francois have a deep kind of connection with nature on maybe a spiritual level? Does that make sense?
He's not entirely sure that we disconnect from nature, really. It's more people who are living in cities that actually feel this. What's interesting is that I think if you're in a city, you're probably not hearing the message from nature. But if you live there, if you live in the nature, which is Francois' day-to-day life, he lives in the Cognac region, there's obviously quite a lot of it around there. And this is, I think you get a sensitivity to it, and you actually listen to it rather than trying to have to hear the message. One example he's got about being disconnected from nature is a show he was watching recently, or he was listening to, but a lot of people actually don't realize anymore, specifically the younger generation probably, that there is a season for vegetables and fruits. Because most of the time, especially when you live in a city, or depending on the country, you can import them from everywhere. So they're available year-round. And that's correct. So, and people are disconnected because they actually don't realize that there is a time in the year that this fruit should be available, and a time in the year where nature probably don't produce as good a quality, or maybe it's not almost natural to have it. So this is something that slowly, unfortunately, is creeping in, and is making a difference about disconnecting people from nature.
Et ça, c'est un comportement qui est un peu.
This is scary because it leads to a different behavior, and this behavior is the fact is reflected by the fact that I would say people are more worried about the price of an ingredient or the price of a fruit or a vegetable at a certain given time during the year, rather than to understand if it's actually available for a natural reason or not. So this is something that is fairly scary, I would say.
Oscar Wilde
say the young generation wants to know the price of everything, but they don't know the value of it.
Oh man, yeah, that's kind of profound. Oscar Wilde can do that 100 years later, right?
I know.
Gravitas.
I know, exactly.
Very, very, very good.
Everything is a cycle.
It is, absolutely.
Nothing really changes.
Well, then it comes as no surprise that deep connection to nature, growing up there, having it surrounded by your parents, rather Francois' parents making wine, that he had to follow in those footsteps, that passion. Was there at any point a different path, a different profession for Francois?
Je n'ai jamais pensé
he never really imagined doing anything else because nature taught him so much while he was growing up. That was for him the only thing that he was seeing, and the only thing that kind of made him happy or made sense. So he said, for him he felt it was his destiny to work with nature. And again, if he had one advice for someone to follow, would be sometime, it looks like you're destined to do something. So if that's your destiny, you probably should try and do it.
Et pour terminer sur ce
sujet,
je pense
in France we've got a lot of tradition, a lot of heritage coming from teaching the younger generation, like some skills or a way of life. So what's interesting is that François believes that if it's your destiny and if you can have a mentor, someone to show you a way or to kind of give you something, a part of the experience for you to learn and progress, you should really be sensitive to it and be receptive to it in order to be able to do the same thing for the next generation.
On peut dire ça, mais moi j'ai eu cette chance.
And François really had the chance to do this twice already in his lifetime. He first had obviously his parents giving him all the advice and bringing him this connection with nature. And the second time was obviously when he was working in the Cognac house and had the cellar master showing him the ropes and teaching him a way of making spirit and kind of expressing his skills and creativity.
Yeah. So there's wonderful chapters. There's the formal education at the University of Bordeaux where he studied winemaking. There is all of those years making and learning how to distill cognac. And those are all deeply rooted in tradition. So, where does someone that is so deeply French and so deeply rooted in tradition get the crazy idea to make a vodka in France? How does it feel to break tradition?
Je pense que
it says like when you have a certain experience, there is always a part of you that's hidden, that you kind of have on the back of your mind, and sometimes life throws you a challenge. So when this challenge comes, either you accept it and you try to make it happen, and you kind of go beyond what you can do already, and that's the decision François decided to do.
Deux choses. La première, c'est que
teaching and transmitting skills to someone's got limits.
Niveau de l'éducation,
the limit skills of the teacher or the way you can take. But what's got no limits is passion and inspiration.
Et la deuxième chose
usually
c'est de citer
kind of quotes Mark Twain on a powerful words that he believes in. It's like they didn't know it was impossible, so they did it.
Knowing no limitations. That's very, very key. It's innovation. So we're here about 20 years after the inception of Grey Goose. In a way, Francois was a pariah because the country turned their noses up to a man making vodka in France. In these past 20 years, how has the French culture changed the way that they have thought about Grey Goose?
See, 20 years is not a long time in the life of any brand, really. He comes from a region that's, have been producing spirits for 300 years. So it's only like a drop in the ocean. But what he realized, though, is that when he created, he was 20 years younger.
Ensuite, le comportement de
in France, we deeply rooted in our heritage. Sometimes
on a toujours un peu
people have got difficulties to understand that you can do something that is not new and that's not necessarily what you're just there to do. So come thinking outside the box and doing different things.
Mais aujourd'hui,
I think what the success was for François after a while was to show that you can do this and you can actually think outside the box, but still apply what you've learned throughout your life and just make it successful. So that was the success of Grey Goose. It's like showing people also that you can make something different and you can, be a pioneer rather than following.
J'ai la passion du vin.
He's got the passion of wine. He's got the passion of making spirits. So he doesn't see why he should have, had a limit of his passion and of what he can create or what he could create.
Donc ça me semblait assez naturel
de faire. So you can't forbid someone who loves music to play different instruments.
Ah, makes sense. So being known as someone that is innovative, pioneering, breaking the rules, does that expectation for that next product, that next innovation from Francois, how does he feel about that? Is there pressure there?
Alors, soyons modestes, je ne vais pas créer quelque chose de nouveau tous les jours, mais c'est vrai que j'ai apporté des petites touches
say, let's be honest, I'm not going to be able to create something new every day, but it's always important to try and do something different, to try to push the boundaries of what you can do, still be on point, be creative, be innovative, but also let the others judge what you do and see how they react to it as well. Innovation only comes from the creation of the person who wants to express it, but again, the success only comes from people on the receiving end, so usually the consumers, yeah.
Mais c'est vrai que j'ai cette chance de constater
maybe it's not about fans around the world, but it's got some people who appreciate really what he did, with Grey Goose, and obviously, which hopefully helped the vodka category, which at a point where it was quite standard, and it kind of gave them the opportunity to enjoy vodka, like I would say, on the level of a brown spirit or the spirit that you could taste neat, yeah. Painters are never really popular until they die. You say, I had the chance and the opportunity to have something popular before then.
That's a great point. Is it the talent and the process of paying it forward as he passes on here at some point? Has he bestowed that on his sons? Do his sons know how to distill? Do they know the industry like their father?
Alors j'ai la chance d'avoir trois enfants. J'en ai 2 qui sont partis dans d'autres métiers. Mais j'ai une fille qui a étudié la cuisine et qui
the chance to have 3 kids.
Toujours.
2 of them chose a different path.
Il y a probablement une transmission, fibreuse de l'envie d'accomplir un métier peut-être sensitif.
He says there is maybe a fiber there, something that was transmitted, like something that can grow. So we'll see.
We shall see. I think that the female perspective on spirits is something that is very lacking in the industry, so it'll be very exciting to have the lineage from a woman to come and perhaps impart her flavor. So I've got a couple questions left for you guys. I know you're heading to San Antonio here just shortly. So this Texas tour, what has been the main objective? Why are you guys doing great things and traveling the state of Texas, sharing Grey Goose? What is there to talk about this time?
Je pense que c'est important de
well, there is a few things really. I think it's always important, and it's always been Grey Goose behavior to actually come back. First of all, to say thank you to the Grey Goose drinkers and to the consumers, and again, we want to be able to share our passion. Francois' passion, especially when we've got the chance to have him over here. That's what he loves doing, as you probably noticed already. And this is something that I appreciate doing too. So it was a great opportunity to come, talk to everyone that, on a regular basis is really making or believing in Grey Goose and using Grey Goose in their bars, or even talk to the consumer and kind of try and give them an opportunity to understand what Grey Goose is all about, how it's made, the importance we've put around the ingredients and everything that we actually do to make it a fantastic spirit. And so this is something for Francois that's really important. He's been traveling a lot, obviously, since the success of Grey Goose. So it's very important for him to come, travel, and get the energy from the people and the crowd he kind of see around. So it's always a great opportunity for him to come over, get some nice little attentions as well for the Grey Goose drinkers, in a sense that he's always wanting to create something new for them and kind of create a new experience. So what's interesting is like the vodka category has always been a little bit impersonal, so like it's always been quite difficult to connect with vodka in general because of the lack, I think, of personality behind them. So missing someone that you can actually physically link with the vodka. So a journalist said to Francois once in one of his first visits to the US, it's fantastic to actually be able to put a face on a vodka and connect with someone who actually got a passion and understand why they did what they did.
And I think when you talk to Francois, when you talk to yourself, Julien, you get that connection to the people, to the nature, which is what we lose when we're thousands of miles away of where this is made, where Grey Goose is made. So I know you guys are heading now. I've got one last question for you. And, you know, I had what I would consider the privilege of speaking with Francois at length last night. And I get these characteristics of alchemy, of composition, a maestro of sorts. So to me, if Francois could be anywhere in the world sipping a fine vodka, Grey Goose, a cocktail, wherever, and he could have any person living or deceased to share that drink with and have a conversation, who would he like to have a chat with?
Très honnêtement, mon père.
His father.
Did he ever get a chance to share Grey Goose with his father?
Bien sûr.
So obviously that's the first person he thinks about. Unfortunately lost him recently.
Continue
so it's,
à m'observer.
You know, it's something that's really close to his heart because he used to share everything with his dad. All his successes, all his, you know, little things in life. So they used to share Grey Goose together, of course, because it's one of his big success. But this is, you know, something that's really important, the link between and the relationship between a father and a son, because you obviously look up to them to inspire you and to show you the way, so to speak, which was very important for Francois, but they also can be really proud of their son most of the time. So,
en parlant de voyage,
you know, with all those travels and all this, you know, going around,
où l'on va.
This is not about where you're going, it's always about where you're from and where you're starting from. So it's always, you know, very important for Francois. It's from his region, with his family. So that's what, you know, is the base really of every single travels. When you're coming back coming back home, you
reprendre de l'énergie,
like charge those batteries again, and you're ready to go, and then you go and spread this energy that you've been accumulating all around the world, and then you come back.
Well, it's really been a pleasure, and I appreciate Bacardi arranging this, and Julien, thank you so much for translating Francois. Such a merci beaucoup to both of you. You guys travel safe to San Antonio. I think there's a lot of great conversations and sips still left to be had. So wonderful work. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, there we have it. The creator of Grey Goose Vodka himself, Mr. Francois Thibault, an amazing gentleman, a man who lights up the room, has a rich history and tradition, and in cognac and spirits and food, so many amazing things. And I cannot thank Bacardi enough for making this happen. It was an amazing opportunity to see the man who we've all probably seen on those clever TV commercials, and you'll see him wearing a fine suit wherever he goes, and that's something you have to admire about him. Always classy and always intriguing. So thanks everybody for listening to Show de Vie with Mike G. No matter if you're thinking vodka's on the upswing in popularity or not, or if you're thinking, man, love season 2 on Netflix, even though I'm mentioning it again, it's kind of making me feel a little down. Please keep dancing.